of us don't know. So for the next 10 to 15 minutes, he's going to be speaking to us. I would want us to pick our pen and paper to write questions that you would want to ask, clarifications that you would want to have, observations that you would want to have a clear mind about. This session is meant to be interactive. You pour out your mind to us, we'll tell you how you feel you should do it. But if you don't write anything down, there's no way you can have that particular question you want to ask. So I'll hand over the mic to Mr. Abdul Hafiz Adebayo. For the next 15 minutes, he's going to be speaking to us on that particular topic. Please, like I said, rapt attention, and we need to actually keep quiet. Jazakallah khair.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Our time is fast spent, so let us do the introduction. Right. I have a lot of things to say. So I really love for us to just be interactive like this. He said he studied mechanical engineering, right? And he's a drone pilot. I did geology. And I'm doing marketing today. If you go to bank, those tellers in bank, some of them did engineers. They were never banker. They didn't study economics or banking and finance in school. Some of them were studied engineering, microbiology, biochemistry. Some of them even did yoga. And they are working in banks. Right? And they are progressing. Sometimes they will tell you that that is the future of work now. Is that all about skills? Right? So now I've been asked to talk about careers of the future. Right? In early 90s or 80s, the secretaries at workplace, I'm the secretary, they were typists. One man typewriter. Typewriter man do boom, doesn't move by. You know typewriter. Now there's only like typewriting again. Imagine if you were a typewriter in the early 90s. In the early 2000s, you don't have work again. Yes, now. Now, because there is Microsoft Word that you can use to type, what is the need for a typewriter? Right? So your work as a typist, boom. Otilo. Shebi? In early 90s again, one man rent video. We used to have video stores in our house. I'm gonna rent video sets. One day, I'm at some 15 naira. Now there's video. We are on YouTube. We are on Netflix. You know that way you share video case and don't be share that KK over that back. Boom, you don't have work again. And I also want to believe that all of us here, we have left secondary school, maybe, or we are yet to get to an institution. Some of us have started working. And when you mean one kosher, Shebi, I want to believe. I also want to believe that because, especially for those of us that have started working, we might not have had enough skills. I've been talking about to be able to make, let's say, 200,000 a month. Right? Maybe to buy a secondary school, I teach teaching, I do my assistant, I do sales boy, I do sales girl. One phone low you want 50,000. Shebi? That 50,000 in this Lagos, some people make it when they work for 1 hour. I don't know if you understand. Now. So when you now talk about careers of the future, is that there are some careers that are already obsolete. For example, I'm clerk, typist, right? There are some careers that are going to be obsolete. They are not already obsolete, but they are going to be obsolete. One of them is a librarian. Now we all have PDF books, right? We read. If you get a turn when you want to go to the library, you don't need a librarian. They just show you a screen. Type the book that you want, and they'll tell you that go to this row, number what, this is where the book is. Right? They'll tell you that. So that means that if you were a librarian for 10 years, when that time comes, boom, you'll be out of work. right? Teaching too, right? All of us know U-lesson, right? And you can learn online. You can go on YouTube. A lot of people are doing that. So it means that I can stay in my father's house and be learning, right? If, as a teacher, you have not upgraded yourself, boom, you're out of job. There are a lot of careers like that. They're out of job. If ìgbà tí fóònù ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ dé Nàìjíríà, àwọn Triumph ló máa ń lò, àwọn Triumph tó máa ń ṣí báyẹn, àbí Motorola, àbí àwọn ìgbà tó wáyé àwọn wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí máa lo torchlight. Imagine you learn how to repair a phone. Nígbà tí àwọn torchlight phone yẹn jáde, èèyàn tó kó ẹṣẹ́, torchlight phone ló fi kó ẹṣẹ́. Now we have mad ass Samsung phone. Tẹ́gbọ́n máa ṣí báyìí with very difficult flex. We have iPhone 14. Wọ́n fi torchlight phone kó ẹṣẹ́. Báwo ni èèyàn kó ẹgbẹ́ iPhone 14 wà fún ẹni kó báwo ti ṣe? Báwo ayé ti ṣe? So now, boom, you're out of work because your skill is now what? Redundant. Obsolete. Now, you want to talk about career of work. They'll tell you that career has to do with something that, like a job that you want to do for a long time, right? It can be long term. It will have a lot of developmental issues there, and it has to have evolution, right? So that means a lot of things affect careers of work. One of these things, 7 things basically: expertise and skills. You must know how to do something. If you're a mechanic, you must know how to repair very well. If you're an accountant, you must know it very well. If you are going to be a medical doctor, you must know it very, very well. That is your skill, right? Environment too matters. Environment matters. Imagine you went to a state where there is only one medical doctor, one, and there are like 2 million people in that state. What do you think is going to happen to that medical doctor? It's going to be in hot demand. Imagine there are not 2 million people, and then you have 500,000 medical doctors. What's going to happen? Oh, everywhere, right? Tó bá ń lọ lójú títì tí mọ́tò ẹ̀ bá dákú sórí ọ̀nà ó wá pe mechanic. Ẹ jẹ́ bá mi wo iṣẹ́ yìí. Ó ní màá gba 200,000 lọ́wọ́ yín. Ó ní tí bá wà nílé wa 20,000 ni màá san fún iṣẹ́ yìí náà. Ṣebí? You don't have option at that point because at that place is the Alpha and Omega. Right? That is where career of work is going. That's number 1. Number 2, skills. Number 2 is environment, right? Number 3 is consistency. You have to be able to do things for a long time. Èmi kò kọ́ bó ṣe ṣe tailor. Next 2 years, ó sọ pé ó ṣe tailoring mọ̀. Ó fẹ́ lọ kọ́ bó ṣe ṣe graphic designing. After 3 years, ó sọ pé ó ṣe graphic designing mọ̀. Ó fẹ́ lọ kọ́ bó ṣe develop mobile phone. After 4 years, ó sọ pé ó ṣe mobile phone mọ̀. Ó fẹ́ lọ kọ́ bó ṣe ṣe. Now, imagine pé èèyàn tó ṣe graphic design láti year 1 ẹyọ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní o ìwọ tí wàá kọ́ṣẹ́ mẹ́rin àbí 5 òun wà lórí iṣẹ́ graphic designing for the next 15 years. Who do you think would have much more experience and expertise and ability to earn more in the industry? Èyí tó kọ́ṣẹ́ yẹn kan tó fi lọ long time. At that time, what's my group? What's the head of department? Guys, èyí ó ń kọ́ different iṣẹ́ bí ó ṣe máa wà ní entry level. Right? Now, that is there. And then sometimes, prayer too comes in. Right? Ẹ máa yẹ ẹ̀dẹ̀ jáde school. Ele jáde pẹ̀lú second class lower. Ele jáde pẹ̀lú first class. Ele ṣiṣẹ́ ní big company ló fún owó gidi. Ele is struggling. Right? Now, ìyẹn náà wà ń bẹ̀. Now, football. Let me give you another example. Let me give you Tai Taiwo. Do we know Tai Taiwo? Okay, let us know Mikel. We all know Mikel.
Yes, Mikel Obi.
Ati Messi. Yes. Mikel Obi and Messi. They played the same under 17 World Cup the same year. Which of them do you think had a better career?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah, why?
I think Messi is the best.
Why?
Messi has a better skill, right? He worked hard. He can be to work hard now. He had a better opportunity. Yes, he played in a better environment, right? Imagine you were playing in Barcelona and you had a friend playing in maybe Salenko, Aberini, Agege. Both of you, your opportunities will be different. Your technical skills will be different, right? But there are some people that they play Aberini, Agege, those in Babo, Ibe no lose my maker. For example, Osimhen. But that is like 1 in 1,000, right? So now you now have to know that there are some careers that are going to be really, really obsolete, right? And they are also going to be that. Those people that are going to win in the future, there are 3 sets of people. Number 1, people that innovate. Innovation. People that innovate. When you innovate, you are making something maybe easier, cheaper, faster, or making the world better. 4 things. Easier, faster, cheaper, and making the world better. Right? If your parents were adire dyer, 20 years ago they were making fantastic money. People were coming to Nigeria to buy adire, right? Only adire be 30 yards in a day. Let us give an example. 30 yards. One she manually, ever Japan. So, and the Chinese came. How we know that you go? You can't know local Boshinshi. One day, one call, all Lolumo. And we have one figgy, one machine, everything, one go, everything, manual labor, right? And Chinese were lost in one. All to develop automation way. Take one for machine. Our parents were doing 30 yards of adire per day, for example. The Chinese were doing 30,000 yards per day. Our land adire, but our adire don't dancing. One import of to China. What do you think happened? They innovated, right? It was faster, it was cheaper, and it was what? Easier. So by don't share adire, they are taking them out of business. Boom. One, nishe mo. To ba te nishe, owo to make telecom and making sense. So, innovation. That's number 1. Number 2, owning, you must also be able to solve a problem. Imagine you are an electrical engineer. You graduated, right? Maybe you work in a phone company where they make phones, right? And then you start to see people have different problems, right? You get it like that. People solve problem. Let me give one example of innovation that is problem solving. If you want to say there are 3 problems that I've seen delegates make what's it called have on this campsite. Number 1 is charging. Yes or no? Imagine if you then want to innovate. Let's say you want to create a phone that does not charge. You know that screen protector phone here. Go just solar panel. Go connect a charging port. Automatically, when your phone is installed, it's automatically charging. Boom, 100%. A charging problem solved. Any big solution was by. This is how the society is. This camp is like a microcosm of the society, right? Of the outside world. The person has solved the problem. The person has innovated, right? So the career of the future are those people that would be able to innovate a process. It is not necessarily technology. It can be a process.
I think this is a bit louder, and
it can be a process.
like I mentioned,
Process can be
if we try.
Process can be, for example, process can be.
Okay, so and like I said earlier, if we try.
Process can be. It might not be technology. It might be that you are a fashion designer, you are a tailor. You are a what? You are a tailor. You have a friend. The friend has perfected a process in which that friend is able to sew 5 clothes in a day. And you are still in that same old process. You are able to sew 2 clothes a day. Who do you think will win? Is that your friend now? Right? Now, who do you think will win? Is that a friend, right? That a friend has perfected the process. So it is not necessarily technology. Sometimes it can just be process. Improve a process. I know you are coming. You want to hear that. I will say the career of the future is software engineering, AI, machine learning, all of them. Chebi, that's what you were expecting. But I will tell you that people will tell you that software engineering is not a career of the future. Why? You can tell AI to write code for you. That you want to build an app. Go and tell ChatGPT I want to build a calculator app in JavaScript. Write a JavaScript code for me to do that function. ChatGPT will write the code for you. So now, in the next 3 or 5 years, companies that were using 20 engineers, you don't think so? There is DALL-E now. DALL-E is for creating graphics. It's a Microsoft product. You can tell, okay, help me design a black man with a mango head. Put him on. Open my friend picture. DALL-E, D-A-L-L-E. Right? Oh my designer, oh my friend picture. So that means that people that are learning graphic design now, what's in Bashan now? Yes? Collect baton right now. Ọ̀nà tí o fi baton yẹn, tá máa fi wà láàárín àwọn èèyàn tí o lè gbàṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ òun lé ẹ̀ka máa wò ó sí. Right? So how are you going to improve process? I've told you about example of a phone charging problem, right? Look at the solution.
Their talks, we might also maybe take pointers that might make us think about some things that we can also ask. So
now, okay, now, yes. Okay. So now,
if you make it,
keep it.
small all the way.
Now, all right. Now look at that solution. Look at that solution. You were able to solve camp problem, Abi, but you are going to solve the whole world problem, right? You now start creating a screen protector that can be used to charge your phone as long as your phone is outside, right? You are an engineer, but you have innovated, you have changed the process, and then you have solved the problem, and then you have reached, and then you are successful. So that means that as an engineer, as a graphic designer, as an accountant, as an economist, regardless of whatever work you do, try to look for a way to innovate in that work. How can I make this work simpler? How can I make, what is the problem people in my work face? Can I build a tool that can solve that problem and other people too will enjoy that tool? I don't know if you understand. Can I build that tool? So if I'm building that tool, it means that people like me that have that same problem, they will be able to use that same tool. And I've used it to innovate a process. Now, so they'll say in the future of work, they'll say that you can only grow a business or you can only have a career if you expand in 3 ways. If you expand internationally, or if you diversify your business, or if you innovate. The career of work now is innovation. Innovation.
Certified accountant.
If you are studying economics, look at the problems that economists have. Innovate it, solve it. If you are in accounting, look at the technology the accountants use, or the problems that they have. Find a way to make it better, to make it faster, to make it cheaper. That's innovation. It's no longer because I'm an accountant. There are 1,000 more accountants than you. Find a way to understand the technology. If you're a graphic designer, you could probably build your own using maybe a ChatGPT API. You could probably use it to build your own design tool, design AI tool that you're using yourself. Nobody knows. You are training data. You are using your data to train it, and it understands you, and then it's producing design like you used to do before. That means that the work you were doing for 1 week before, you'll be able to do it in 2 hours, right? So it means that you are innovating that process. So the future of work, regardless of your career, is innovation. If you don't innovate, your career dies. If you don't innovate, your career stays in one place. If you don't innovate, people will leapfrog you. If you don't innovate, the Muslim world will be backward. If you don't innovate, we are going to die. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What God is saying, Jazakumullah khairan. So please, I need your round of attention now, please. That's the first speaker on that beautiful topic. Afa. Now, we've been able to get 1 or 2 things from what he said. And if I could recall, he mentioned one important thing. Irrespective of the career path you choose to have or you choose to follow, he mentioned one thing, which is innovation. Am I right? While we were planning for this camp, we had a departmental meeting, the way we do have it. And I was opportune to train 2 different departments, multimedia and information use. What do you use to do design? And she mentioned Canva. We are all familiar with Canva, right? And the head of the design team said, Canva will not work for me. And it's that simple. When we got to camp, somebody else came to the department, they needed a little graphics. I will ask the person, okay, we'll give you the template. You just need to put the information that you need to put. What do you use to design? He said Corel Draw. And we look at him again and said, no, it's not going to work. That's because the future of graphic designing have left Canva, have left Corel Draw. We now use Figma. We now use Photoshop. Photoshop that we used to do video editing, right? We now use Photoshop to do graphics designing. The same way a professional video editor will tell you CapCut is not suitable for video editing. I guess what I'm saying now. That's the same way, and that professional video editor will tell another professional that because you use 2017 Adobe Premiere Pro, you are not doing a good job, because he expects you to use maybe the one they produced this year, a new version of that software, or let's say 2 years before. So in all of this, it is very much important that we know that if you cannot innovate, if you cannot check the dynamism of your work, then there's no way you can actually hit it right. I'll give you 2 examples. There are 2 doctors on Twitter. There's one Dr. Debo Ade, what's that his name again? Odulana or something. And there's someone they call Aproko Doctor. Both of them are medical doctors. Aproko Doctor will come online, will tell you, this is what you're meant to do. Don't do this. Don't take this one. Don't eat. If there's something to drink, always drink water. And if you remember when I wanted to start this session, we start saying if you does not eat for 7 days, you will not die. But drink water. I get what I'm saying now. Dr. Debo now, for example, is a professional doctor. He did medicine and surgery. I get the point. But he has brought medicine to your doorstep. In the sense that there are some times that you don't even need to go to the hospital before you can get diagnosed, before you can get treated. The only thing you need to do is, he has an application, you just need to log on to that application, say whatever system that is doing you there. The doctor will come to your desktop, they will treat you, they will tell you what you need to do, and they will monitor your improvement, and they will go back home. That's innovation. Are you getting it now? That's innovation. During the era of COVID, a lot of people could not work. Those that could go to work were more like 2 professions. 1, the medical doctors. 2, were the oil and gas people. Because regardless, we need to keep producing, right? So that we will have something to supply to the citizen. Surprisingly, our second speaker, he works with KPMG. Yes, KPMG is one of these top accounting firms in the world.
Big four.
Big Four. There are 4. EY, PwC, KPMG, and Deloitte. There are 4. After COVID, I will let him to say when he resumed back to the office with his mouth. After COVID, when did you go back to the office? He will tell you when he's talking. So to tell you that some of these professions, if you cannot be innovative about it. My other mentioned secretary and clerk the other time. It will get to a point that we won't have secretaries anymore. Because now we have started having virtual assistants. That means I can be your secretary from the corner of my home. You only need to let me know what your to-do list is, what I need to manage for you, and I am good to go. We don't even need to see. The moment I have an email, you've responded, you've picked my calls, you've fixed my meeting. You only need to share with me the calendar with which I need to work with. So these are part of the few things, or part of the things that we need to actually put into consideration. So without wasting much of our time, I'm going to go read the citation of the next speaker to you. And I need you to pay attention because it's quite important. Who is a Real Madrid fan here? Real Madrid. Are you a Real Madrid fan here? Hello Madrid. I thought you guys have a large fan base in Lagos. I'm surprised. I will have people that are Real Madrid fan here. Messi. Okay, fine, no problem. No problem. Let's keep quiet. Our next speaker is an associate. The meaning of associate in this case is semi-senior associate at KPMG Nigeria, where he works as a tech consultant. Please take note. He works as a tech consultant, focusing on API management, testing, and integration. Within the space of 2 years, he has worked in the firm. He has been working in the firm in 2 years, right? Fine. Hassan has had the opportunity to manage the delivery of enterprise service bus. That's what we call ESB. Don't worry, during the course of his talk, write down your questions. If you need to ask more, we would attend to it. at one of the biggest banks in Nigeria. One of the biggest banks in Nigeria. He finished from Unilag with a first class in systems engineering. Despite all this busy schedule, that he has a lot of mentees that are under him. Afa, this is how you do this. Afa, this is how you do this. Afa, this is how you do this. Despite that, the Hassan that I know will not miss a single Real Madrid match. For some of us that are following him very well, we are close, we talk. The moment I see that Hassan Ogbe called me lálẹ́, I need to go and check the feature. Ṣé Real Madrid ń gbá ball? Tó bá ti ń gbá ball kò ní gbé. I'll give an example. When they forum together, he was a panelist, he was part of the panelist session. While Hassan was delivering the lecture, his son was on his lap and he was watching a Real Madrid match. To tell you that in as much as he is extremely serious with his job, he still has a passion for one particular thing, which is football. So my dear brothers, he's a tech consultant. He works with KPMG. KPMG is an accounting firm, pure accounting firm. A tech consultant that works with an accounting firm and studied systems engineering in Unilag. If somebody studies systems engineering now and he code that be code, I'm not even sure he knows how to write ABC of code. But he studies systems engineering. So within the next 10 to 15 minutes, I want us to pay attention again. And I'm sure we have lots of questions. Because after this time out, for the next 20 minutes, we want to make it interactive as possible. You ask your questions, they answer you. You can give references to some of those things that I feel that are not clear. Please. Okay? Please, while they sort out the mic, we need you to pay attention so that we don't shout on our voice. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, I'll try my best to be as audible as possible so that everyone can hear me. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for making it easy for us to gather here today. We also beseech His blessings upon the noble soul of Prophet Muhammad, his household, his companions, and those who tread their path till the day of reckoning. So please, brothers, if you want to hear me really, I would advise that we pay rapt attention. Please, please. I thank the moderator for ushering me in. He's my boss. I call him my boss. Thank you so much. Also, the first speaker, a fun fact about the first speaker is that the first interview I had after my graduation from the university, are you listening? The first interview I had was with the first speaker. I did not know that I was going to be the one to interview me. I just applied for the job online and then they called me for an interview. I got to the interview to the company and I met one of our mentors there. He interviewed me. I made mistakes because it was my first interview. I made mistakes. He called me after the interview to tell me that, okay, these are the things we should do going forward. He tried to push the application for me, and you know, it was a lovely experience. So let's move on to the topic of discourse. The topic of discourse is the career of the future, right? The career of the future. And trust me, the little I met from what our first speaker said has captured everything that you need to know about the career of the future. If I ask us here, how many of us want to become medical doctors? How many of us want to become medical doctors? Medical doctors. Interesting. Just one, two, three, four. Okay, five. Just 5 people. How many of us want to become engineers? Interesting. How many of us want to become, software developers? Same as engineers actually, but yeah, I'm just being more specific. How many of us want to become lawyer? How many of us want to become lawyer? 1, 2, 3. Okay, great. How many of us want to become accountant? Accountant. Or want to become ballers? Oh, really? You don't want to become ballers? Interesting. Okay. Listen. So, what I have just experimented. Are you listening? What I have just experimented is the fact that we have diverse ambitions amongst us. People want to become lecturers, people want to become accountants, people want to become tech bros, right? But when we talk about the career of future, the core of it, as mentioned by the first speaker, the core of it is what we call innovation. And trust me, we are never going to overstress this. Innovation is the core of the future, of the career of the future. Tiring. It is not going to be tiring. We are not going to estimate, or we cannot even adequately estimate the importance of innovation. And when we talk about innovation, innovation is not about us, I want to go and build a very big tech tool for IVC. No, that is not innovation. I mean, that is not all about innovation. It is not all about what? Innovation. Right? Some people can tell you that innovation is, you see this, the way I'm speaking at the top of my voice. Some people can tell you that it is innovation. Do you know why? What am I supposed to use to talk? Mic. That's what I meant, right? But there's no mic again. Should we now say that, okay, we're not going to say anything until we get mic? No, you need to innovate. You need to look at another way of doing something. You need to always innovate. That's the core of the career of the future. But why do we talk about this? Why do we talk about the career of the future? After all, Allah already said that He is the most knowledgeable, not even most knowledgeable. He is the only one that knows about tomorrow. He is the only one that knows about the unseen. Do we know about the unseen? So why are we talking about tomorrow that has not come? Why not let us talk about what is happening today? I want to become a banker, right? Why should I focus on what is going to happen in the banking industry tomorrow? Why should I know about open banking, right? How many of us have heard of open banking? Open banking. If you want to become a banker, you should now start hearing about open banking. Though it is an innovation in the technological space, but bankers or future bankers should also learn about open banking. That's just a digression, right? But the main point here is that why do we talk about people of tomorrow? Or why do we talk about careers that are not even happening now? Why do we talk about it? We are talking about it because we have seen the past. Jobs that were relevant in the past are now very irrelevant. They are not what? Irrelevant. I'll give you a very quick example from what he mentioned. And it is secretaries, clerks. What's the work of secretaries? They schedule meetings for you, right? They schedule meetings for you. But are you aware, just as our moderator mentioned, there are virtual assistants now that help you to schedule meetings. If I want to have a meeting with my mentor, for example, tomorrow, I can have access to his calendar and just go through his calendar. What's going on tomorrow? Does he have a meeting by 9 o'clock? Okay, he has a meeting. He's scheduled he's blocked from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock. Don't let me ask for his time between that time. I see that he's available by 1 p.m., right? Oh, I know that my mentor is a Muslim. He would want to observe Zuhr by that 1 p.m. 2 o'clock, he's available. Then I reach out to him. Assalamu alaikum, how are you doing? I just checked your calendar and I saw that you are available by 2 p.m. tomorrow. Is it a good time for us to talk? Please, did I engage any executive assistant? Did I engage any secretary? No, I did not engage any secretary to know when he would be available. And that is technology, that is innovation. Somebody thought about it. Why go through people before you can have meeting with someone? Why not just have direct access to the person's calendar and then suggest the time for the person? It's an innovation. Because, do you know why? Because it is going to reduce cost. One of the reasons why you innovate is to reduce cost. So if I want to employ a secretary, it means that I have a running cost on the secretary, right? Today, one of the work of the secretaries is to what? Is to write minutes, isn't it? Are you aware that we don't even need a proper secretary to come up with a minute of a meeting? All we just need to do is to record the meeting. We record the meeting, download the file, and upload it on a particular website. What will the website do for you? The website will transcribe everything that was said in the meeting. What do? You want to get a proper minute. You know what the application did was to transcribe everything for you, right? But what you need is a minute, and a minute is a summary of the meeting, highlights and actions. All you just need to do is to take everything that has been transcribed, put it on ChatGPT, and ask ChatGPT to convert it to a proper minute format. And you have a minute. That would take you less than 30 minutes. But a secretary will tell you that he has some other things he needs to do before he would now listen to the recording of the minutes and then start coming up with what he or she, gets from the recording and then submit it to you. It is prone to error. The secretary might not even know the important things to note from the minutes or from the meeting. That is innovation. And that is the reason why we know that there were secretaries in the past. If you meet some old people today that are very rich, what they did in the past, what they were doing in the past, secretary, clerks. They were rich, right? But if you call yourself a clerk today, you may not get anything. Even if you get, your pay will be very, very small. Because we can actually get another thing that would render the service at little or what? No cost. Do you get? So if we see that from history, relevant jobs then, reigning jobs that were reigning, are not very important these days, then it shows that we can now start thinking of what is going to happen tomorrow to our jobs. Oh, you are a medical doctor today. What is going to happen to your job tomorrow? One of them is a Aproko doctor. He has applied innovation to treat people online. There are applications where you can just tell them what is doing you, and the application is going to diagnose it and tell you that, okay, this is what is happening to you. If you need to do further diagnosis, the application would recommend to you that you should see a doctor. But if it is something that the application can do, what will the application do? It would recommend for you the drugs that you can take. Did you have to go to the hospital? If I ask you, which one would you prefer? Would you prefer to go to the hospital or just pick up your phone and type on a particular website or application that this is the symptoms you are feeling, what should you do? Which one would you prefer? The application. You prefer the application. And that is why there is Jumia food now. Somebody thought about it. Because somebody like me, I find it very difficult to step out of my house to go and buy food. In fact, come on around cafe now. But somebody who is lazy, apparently the person is lazy, and he knows that he got our lazy people, got our face delay. What should I do? Let me innovate. Let me take food to people's doorsteps. Would you prefer it? Trust me, if you have money, you would prefer to just sit down at the corner of your house. In fact, some people, they will prefer to be doing it while they are sleeping. Oh, They will prefer to be typing on no rice deliver. That is innovation. And you see these industries, they are thriving. They are thriving. A very good example, Uber. Taxi. Go to so many bus stops now. Those papa, they are just what? They're just staying there. And majority of them, what they are working on or what they are earning from is their goodwill. And when you want to share that, I think that on Lotaji, and when you're watching Lotaji, right? Because they already have that good relationship with. Would you go out, for taxi, if you want to order taxi, if you want to book taxi, what would you do? You will go to the park now, you stay at the junction, taxi, right? But Uber says that you don't have to step out of your house to get a ride to wherever you're going. And Uber fares are now crazy. Sorry to use that word. I wanted to go to somewhere last week Saturday at Jawa Estate. I saw 8,000 naira. A broke person. I said no. I went out to take bus. I did not spend up to 700 naira. But guess what? There are thousands of people that are ordering rides of that amount. I saw a Uber rider that was telling me that what he earns in this period, this December period, is more than what he gets from his 9 to 5. So guys, please, those are the reasons why we need to now start thinking of the career of the future. A very good reason why we're also thinking about it is COVID-19. COVID-19 made us realize that there are a lot of jobs that can be done without having people at the office. There are so many offices that are leasing out their facilities. Do you know why? Because they realized during COVID that what? Our employees don't have to come to the office. So instead of us just leaving this space empty, let us what? Lease it out. It is innovation. What is the innovation there? The technologies people were using to work from home. Lawyers did not even have to go to the court. Right? Business people. I'll give you a very good example. I have a friend. She's a tailor. She's a fashion designer. Let me put it that way. Would you believe that this lady does not have to go and measure people to be able to give them, or does not even have magazine got on fashion designer man look manicure one got catalog ovation exactly. You don't need ovation in this era. Who buys occasion again? My mom is a fashion designer. I know about it. Oh my Lord, occasion. I mean ovation. Ovation and I'm a phone right? But now there is what we call virtual reality. Virtual reality tells us that we don't need manicure. You don't need to have manicure to be a great fashion designer. All you just need to do is to create the virtual, to simulate. Okay, you use virtual reality to build somebody like this and put the cloth on it. Put the design. If you see it, you will think it is you that is there. Did that person need manicure? No. That's innovation. The person sits at the comfort of a shop, sends people design with the use of virtual reality. And virtual reality is one of the technologies that are thriving at this time. Right? So you can see that everything that I have talked about, I did not focus only on software engineers. I did not even talk about software engineers. I talked about fashion designers. I talked about people who work in organizations. I talked about what? Sorry? Uber riders. You can see. You see that I did not mention anything about, I'm not saying you should not go to school. I finished the first class. I'm not saying you should not go to school. But I've not talked about anything BSc, have I? Have I? So that tells us that even if you are not in the education space, you need to think about the career, the future of what you are doing. Right? So I've explained the career of the future. I've told you the reason why we need to start thinking about it. But I want to now mention the things that you should do. I understand that the people here are school leavers, right? The first thing I want to mention, I know that, I would not even tell you not to go to school. Everybody seated here, my advice, my candid advice, right? One of my teachers is at the back. He was the one that told me to write JAMB immediately. When I was in SS3. I told him that I was not writing it. He said, why? He said, when you have to call, you have to write JAMB. I said, let me sit prepare. He said, you must write it. So we wrote the JAMB in 2014. And luckily I gained admission. I just wrote the JAMB because I wanted to teacher meeting in call, right? So then called JAMB. I wrote JAMB. But fortunately I gained admission and I'm out of school, right? So please, the first thing I want to talk about is that you should go to school. If you go to school, you are exposed. Even if you don't eventually use your BSc, you know that there are technologies that transform businesses. I know a lady, Zenny Craft. How many of us have heard of Zenny Craft before?
Lady shoemaker.
Yes, #1 Africa lady shoemaker. She is a lady. She is a shoemaker. She got her BSc from the University of Lagos. She was just like 2 years senior. 2 years junior when I was in school, right? And she is doing fantastically well. I follow her on Instagram. You can follow her on Instagram, Zenny Craft. I follow her on WhatsApp. She's my friend. And I see what she does for people. Shoes that normally, Tiba Lossi Market, you cannot get that shoe more than 10,000 naira. You cannot pay more than 10,000 naira for that shoe. But because of the leverage she has, she finished from the university. And the category of people that she sells to, the category of people that she markets to, the people like Amzat, Deputy Governor, Rotimi Salami, and too many other people like that. So you cannot go to her and say you want to get a shoe for 10,000 naira. Who are you? So somebody bought a shoe or a pair of shoes 2 years ago from her for 55,000 naira. 2 years ago. If I go to Oshodi market, I'm sure I'll get that shoe for 10,000 naira. Max 15,000 naira. So that education has given her the leverage. So please, that's the first thing I want to mention. Another thing I want to mention is that you must be excellent in that education and everything you do. You must be excellent. Because if you are excellent at it, it opens a lot of doors for you. Imagine that you are telling people that you are a shoemaker, but you finished from the University of Lagos with a first class. That caveat that you mentioned alone is enough for them to stay with you. Do you know why? Because they know that this person has trust. The fact that he or she was able to graduate with a first class from a university means that this person can deliver. It means that if this person has a tight deadline, that's what it means. If you finish with a first class from the university, it means that you had tight deadlines and you did not sleep because of the deadlines. That's what it means. Go and ask everybody that finished with first class. They will tell you that there were days I did not sleep for more than 2 hours. There were days that I did not sleep for more than 3 hours. When I was in school, I read for 12 hours. Yes. When I was in university, I read for 12 hours. Yes. So you can see that caveat would give them that trust. And trust me, what happens in business generally, or what helps people grow faster in business, is trust. Because I don't know you from anywhere. Why do we go to Instagram to go and order something from somebody that we don't even know? Why? Trust. Because we know that Instagram is a place where people buy and sell, right? So there is that trust. But if you are not trustworthy, you are not coming off as someone that is trustworthy. Trust me, people will not want to give you business, right? And another thing that it opens for you, if you are very good academically or in anything that you do, if you are very good, it opens mentorship opportunities for you. Somebody that is very good. Imagine the likes of MK, the likes of people that are good, right? People that are doing very well. They would prefer to mentor someone who finished with a first class to someone who finished with another grade. We are not saying that the other grades are not okay. That's not my message. In fact, I don't like to say, but I'll say it. I know a friend that did not even finish with 2-1 from my class. He knows him. I will not mention his name. He earns more than me, not even more than me, way more than me. But what we now ask ourselves is that how many of them? That's the question you ask yourself. Why don't you go into the music industry? Why don't you go into the football industry? We don't go into football industry, music industry, because the rate of people that make it in that industry is not as if people don't make it in music industry. Aside from the fact that music is haram, right? Davido, has he not made it? He has made it. If Davido said that he's not singing again in this life, is he going to suffer? No. Is Wizkid going to suffer? Wizkid went to Surulere 2 weeks ago to share 100 million naira. Right? So people are actually making it in the music industry. But out of how many people? Maybe 1 out of 1 million. Let's take a step back. Maybe not us. Our 31 university at 30. Shall allow one ton calling by ton rap. Where are they today? So it shows you that the success rate in music is very low. The success rate in football is it not very low? Some of us are better than Osimhen. If you enter field now, we are better than Osimhen. But where are we? Noble Amil, MSSNLagos State. So that's the reality. The success rate is very low. So you now need to look at, okay, the success rate very high. Academics very high. And when you want to show you academics, so let me go into academics. Now look at it. Success rate according to grades, I made a low high. First class, second class upper. You choose your what's it called? So mentorship, it opens mentorship opportunities for you. And if you want to thrive in the future or in the career of the future, you need to have mentors. Because the mentors are already seeing it. They are in the future already. The mentors are in the future. They have access to so many information. So they can tell you that you are coming up, you want to become a tech consultant. These are the skills that you should start learning. That's the work of a mentor. They guide you. You want to become a fashion designer. These are the skills you should start learning. I came with Aweda this morning. And he told me that the job he's currently doing, he got it through his mentor. That mentor was also in the company, and the mentor was guiding him in the tech space. The mentor was guiding him. Now he is doing very well in the organization. The mentor is not even there again, and he's surviving there. That's the work of the mentor. The mentor will tell you that this path that you want to tread, these are the things you need to do to move with the what? The wave of technology, automation, and artificial intelligence. Right? So I think I would like to stop here, but just to give us a very good example, I want to mention organization. It's not a very good example to use, right? But I just want us to learn from it. Few years back, when I was growing up, right? The phone that was trending then, the phone brand that was reigning then was what? BlackBerry. No, not BlackBerry. Don't let me use BlackBerry. No. I have my answer already. It is Nokia. If you want to use a phone, you want to use an Ojaboko 4 phone. For them to name it Ojaboko 4, do you know the meaning? A quality phone. You use what? Nokia. If you want to buy phone today, will you buy Nokia? Will you buy Nokia? Is Nokia still in the industry? But will you buy Nokia? No. Do you know that Apple has, listen, do you know that Apple has phones, technologies that people who are visual, how do you call it? Visually impaired. Do you know that Apple has phones that they can work with? They don't need to use their hand. They don't need to see what they are doing. Even us that we have eyes, that we have mouth, that we have hand, don't we? I mean, that we have eyes, that we have hand. Don't we use our mouth to communicate with phone? Hey Siri, take me to ShopRite.
Alexa,
take me to ShopRite. We say you not take you to ShopRite. No, it will take you there now. That's telling you that innovation, right? Innovation. Anything you do, mass communication, innovation, technology, you are lying to yourself. Because if you look at it these days, drones are doing some work that journalists are doing. Journalists go to they call it where events are they go to events, they do live coverage. Orun ma ṣe kíni, Ojo ma ṣe kíni. But when there is drone, what do? Imagine that you are a mass communicator, you studied mass communication in the school, and you know how to operate drone. Then somebody who finished mass communication, the person does not know how to operate drone. Who do you think they will employ? They will employ the person that knows how to use drone, because the person is moving with the wave of technology. So yes, we cannot exhaust everything here, but we have the intention was just for us to build the foundation in us. Anything you want to do, trust me, there are people who are innovating in every area. So whatever you have chosen to do, you must always learn. You must adapt. When they tell you that there is a technology that can make your work easy, don't do agidi. Agidi ko mo ṣe fẹ́ máa ṣe manually ni. Tó bá ń ṣe manually, you pembe o. You pembe. If they tell you that there's a technology that is doing what you can do, what you are doing for 2 hours, there's a technology that can do it in 10 minutes. You should be the first person to go and learn that thing. You should be the number one person. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make what we have said, to make it beneficial to us, both in this life and in the hereafter. Assalamu alaikum.
It's quite obvious that we enjoyed this session. And it's surprising, quite unfortunate that some brothers are sleeping. That means they've missed out on Lele. Before we go for a little bit of question and answers on what it is that we need to do, we can see that for the first speaker and second speaker, there is something they keep hitting the hammer on, which is innovation. There is one truth I want to tell you, is the fact that most of the courses that you want to do, they have software attached to it. I'm right? They have software attached to it. I was in the office one day and I was in the office and my guy was saying something about this thing is not okay. A guy was doing something and I was like, oh, say that okay, and all of those things. And he mentioned something. He said, if I call Abdullah at the gate and I explain the software to him, within 30 minutes he will get it. But there's a difference between Abdullah at the gate and Abdurrahman in the office. The difference is simple. The difference is that when Abdurrahman is doing his own in the office, Tobati Sherondi, mistake continue. But Abdullah in the gate will just come, will just press what you need to press, and in 10 minutes will come and tell you he is done. But Abdurrahman will sit down 3 hours and he is not done. The reason is because it is not that he does not know what to do, but he knows that in continuation he mistakes come and back. The software will run within 10 seconds with any results. But the backlog is, can you defend the results? He mentioned something. I'm glad he is here. He did system engineering, he got first class. Some of us did engineering. I did mechanical engineering, right? I was not a first class student. And when I finished, the first thing that came to my head was, we talk a lot. In my Sheba, you know. There's one truth I want everybody to hold here. All of you here cannot make first class. You can, all of you here, let's check Botoy. In fact, when by the time we come back for the next 5 years, some of you have probably done with school next 4 years. Nobody can call sports class, and imagine mental. I guess what I'm saying now. But I mentioned something that there's somebody that earns way more than he does. You see that person that does not make first class, but you only get to class make at the tutu. He has gone extra mile. He has done extra jobs. He has done extra things to add to that CV to get a job that is paying him way more than he is. I had a colleague in secondary school. He knows him, I'm not making it. But when you're mamas, about the exam mass, right? You go back 49 over 100. That's cumulative over 100. F9, mamas. What you got? Back 49 for father. You understand what I'm saying? When this guy finished school, if you're asking him where how far a guy, you know, I don't want to teach courses and all of that. He picked economics. I tell you, school, you know, like, oh, mamas don't know economics. The mathematics in economics is tougher than that in accounting. Then we just account, we just shaggy, say, oh, you're laggy. Like, but agidi, oh, laggy. He picked the economics. As I get to, when he was in OOU, he was done in ICANN. He's his colleague in his office. He was year two in OOU, Library and Abandon University. He was done with ICANN. My brother did not fail one single course till he was done. As a year two, Baba was already making money. I mean, I was still struggling with it. He was already making money. And I went for NYSC in Kaduna. My bunkmate, our John Soro, one year I put an exam convention, I can't continue to come. But you say you want to copy a meta. And some of these courses that you are doing, some of these papers that you are writing, oh, they might be sent 5,000 for one paper. By the time you come back for the next time, only it's times 2. He was not explaining, quickly over my thing. I said that, which school will you go? He should mention OU. You know, I said that, I have a friend though. The guy finished for your school now. How far? Make I leave. I don't mention his name. Was like, yo boy, wizard. Wow. He said the toughest course for all ICANN students in that school. Baba went to, it's a 2-hour paper for that particular course. He went to that exam. He wrote that exam in 45 minutes. But on school, he said that's the most simplest exam to call you. And that's the toughest, that was the course, Kombaja. We want to step around them. That is to tell you that guy is doing an extra mile. He mentioned MAK. MAK is CFO in MTN Nigeria. He's in that class. Chief Financial Officer, MTN Nigeria. What does it mean? Anything money, go to charge it. If it does not stamp, you could not become Abi. MAK is one of the best person you will meet. That has to do with finance. One of the best people that you will meet that has to do with finance in the whole of Nigeria. I can beat my chest to it. But before you can get to that level, before you can do some of these things, once you come exams come up, professional exams. So what I'm going to say is, according to your courses, go and sit down. The course you want to do, go and sit down. Explain those courses that will be relevant to your course. You forgot to mention something. If a company like MTN wants to pick somebody, I finished with first class last one, and I finished with 2-1, and I have picked that. The reason is because companies these days don't know. Because you know, if you get the better offer somewhere, you run away. So they don't want to invest in training. What they want to do is automation. They can just put you on probation for like 6 months, or put you on one mentorship with one guy for like 1 year. That's the maximum that they will do. A lot of graduate trainees that you see now, they will see 0 to 3 because that person has had some experience. So in the nutshell, your course of study, what you want to do with your life. Let me put it that way. Some of you here, like you said, you won't do engineering, you won't do medicine, you won't go to school. You want to do photography, you want to do you want to make people. I will add this. There is no sweat. There's no sweat. If you think you will not sweat before you make cool money, it's a lie. It's a lie. You will sweat. You will shake. Another one big for the silver spoon. That's people that will have the soft landing. Okay, at least tell you about your law, right? You will sweat. And if you come from the background where me and my guys came from, when you are done with the finally my buy. I'm not a big guy, I'm part of one couple. You have to face it. While on face the street, as in, you face it by yourself. So please and please, whatever course that you want to study, always find a way to stand out. Always. Always find a way to stand out. It is as important as your life. And we are males. Obìnrin ló lè sọ pé òun ò ṣiṣẹ́. Àbí obìnrin ló sọ pé òun lè máa ṣiṣẹ́. But ọkùnrin ni ẹ́, the Quran has mandated it on you that you take care of the whole family. Compulsory ni kò kí n ṣe pé first kan wà ń bẹ̀. It's compulsory tó o bá ṣe wàá jìyà Ọlọ́run. Simple. Yes, you will take care of the whole family. I was having a discussion with my father one day concerning family life and all of those things. He told me, he said, his elder brother is working. His elder brother is working. You know, like, my salary. I'll send a percentage, I'll send some money to my brother. I'll send some money to my sisters. All the things that I'm saying, I want to share. But it is mandated on you to take care of your siblings, especially the females in their midst. So that's the reason why it is very much important that we take some of these things apart. It is important that we take them the way you are saying it. You mentioned Zeni Craft. Now Zeni Craft went to jam lessons together in Oshoji. I'm a command with Alojiba and I'm a chef. Zeni Craft is a millionaire now. Where am I? As any class is a female. Yeah, what? I'm a campsite. And the point about it is, she might not even be doing the shoes herself again. She would have had, yes, she would have had different people working for her. Let me go for one office. The only thing she needs to do is to make sure they are doing it to quality. I know she's selling shoes for deputy governors, politicians. Ali Baba was doing a free advert for her. Ali Baba is a comedian, one of the biggest comedians in Nigeria. He was doing a free advert for Zeni Craft, Copa Tower 4 and all of those things. And let me bust your head. Zeni Craft wears jet back. She's one of our sisters. She wears full hijab. She wears full hijab. And she will go with that full hijab to present those shoes. Can't be law. If an hijabite can do something like that, how about more? So please and please, let us do what we are expected. Let us do what we are expected to do, so that we don't lose out on both ends. Both ends of, surprisingly, it is in the Quran. It's the way of the prophet that you have to strive to. You have to be striving this one and the other. But during the time of Umar, Tola apologize to Simon Shalashi. Abi, so it's obvious that I need to hustle. So at this point, I'm going to give us 5 people for now. Let's start with 5. I know we have questions boiling on, and I want to take those questions. I have some questions for them, but I'm going to prioritize your questions over mine because everybody needs it. It's not about to embark stage. I'm a set to live issues too. Now, all live issues have gone beyond the university as a Paris school. I'm going to make coding to others. That's our own life issues now. But you, I would advise that when you get it right from the basis, you might not face some of the challenges that we face. That's important. That's the truth of it. As I was for example, you never believe you work in KPMG. Me, I like KPMG. I won't like them once. So that's because at this point of our life, we have to prioritize some of those things. So questions. I'll take the number ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't write it yet.
Note your number.
5. Number 1.
The question I want to ask you, what are the practical steps we can take to encourage innovation and creativity? And my second question is that there are some platforms we do hear about, like the likes of Professor, all this LinkedIn, and others. I want to ask, can someone learn a skill successfully on this platform? Or we either go for all these offline stuff too?
Alright, that's fine. Number 2. Number 3. I can't hear you. Okay. Skill that you can learn that will be valuable in the next 10 to 20 years. Okay. Alright. Number 3. Number 3. Okay, that's number 3, right? Number 4. Brothers, please. Number 4. How far? I can't hear you. Number 4. Number 5.
Sorry, you can't hear it.
You want to do political science or you want to be a politician? There are 2 different things. Or you want to be a politician. How can you bring technology? Alright. Brothers, please. Our time is fast spent, so I'm trying to speed up and see how we can handle it. Brothers! Alright, so I'll leave it for our girls to answer. When they are done, I'll do some little additions because some of your questions are actually very funny.
Platforms to learn skills. Right? There are a lot of online platforms. YouTube does now more Nollywood as I like here. Some people tell you that it's a better university. There are a lot of online platforms that you can learn a lot of skills, like Coursera that you mentioned. YouTube got some 30 man go on films that are highlights football. Some people will tell you that it's a better university. There are a lot of things that I personally have learned on YouTube. How to do this, how to do this. There was one day I wanted to do one work on Excel. It had like about 20 rows of data. Right? They asked me to do something. I think I've forgotten that thing. But if I start to do it manually, one by one, row by row, it probably will take me 2 weeks or 1 month to finish. I said, I've done 100. What you want to sue me? You should be able to automate this thing now. TP is Excel. I just went to YouTube. How to do this thing on Excel. I was searching for different videos. Within 20 minutes, I saw a video that explained it for me. Right? At work, they say that I must finish this thing within 3 weeks. Right? But I spent 20 minutes searching for a video on how to do that thing. I saw a way to do it easily, and I was done with that thing in 2 minutes. 2 minutes! You get, I used 20 minutes to search for the knowledge. I watched the video and I replicated it and I finished. You get, so you can learn in almost everywhere, right? There are a lot of online platforms that you can really learn. There are a lot. But sometimes it's that because we tend to be distracted. So that means if there's a video how to do something, and I like to chance to not call you. Yes. So we get really distracted, and that may not be good. If you know that you are really distracted, it can be best to go for online classes. But online classes can be time consuming, can also be expensive, right? But there are a lot of things you can learn online. A lot, even more, that you can learn online. Yes, but I want to advise us at this stage. I want that we still have real big according our education institution, and you want to learn a skill, and especially those of us that do you know what? That we came from poor background. If you are going to learn skills that is practical enough, and will not consume your time, and that skill will help you to fend for yourself when you are in an institution because only. Do you understand what I mean? Do you understand? Yes. So I will not say more than that. So for skills that will be available in the next 20 to 30 years, I'm predicting, I just said that for all of your skills, who said that? Number one is that innovation matters, right? Innovation matters. One thing is sure, a lot of these skills will still be available there. But the way it is done will be different. I don't know if you get the way it is done will be different. Yes. Out of this, I had a surgery on my leg last year. Typically, the technology that we had before, for that kind of surgery, I should be at home 6 months working in my leg, working with what's it called? Scotches. But they had a minimally invasive. Moko láyé o kékeré kò síbẹ̀ wọ́n dẹ̀ mú kámẹ́rà wọnú ẹ̀ àti wọ́n small kìíní wọ́n dẹ̀ mú omi tó já mẹ́ wọ́n dẹ̀ repair before wọ́n máa la gbogbo ẹ̀ ní wọ́n máa ṣe abẹ́rẹ́ láti bẹ̀rẹ̀. You don't understand? That is innovation in medicine now, right? What is happening in the next 20 years? Another thing will have come, but the time is you have to also follow the trend. So whatever field you have to do, be ensure that you are up to date, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. For a politician, how can we bring technology into it? No. Right? So, I would say that technology does a lot of things. One of it is transparency. I don't know if you know what transparency means. If you do something, there is always a footprint. I don't know. Just tell me your name. I would find out what you did 10 years ago. Maybe you open Facebook when you were 11 or 12 or 13. But what then you 12 years ago? Oh my God. Right? So I can say application of technology to politics. Open government. Do you know what I mean by open government? Do you know what I mean by open government? We want to know how much you are spending for these things. If we click a politician, we want to see what he's doing in his constituency. We want to know everything. Open politics. Technology can really disrupt that. Right? Skills and profession. Learn soft skills. Yes. Those 7 criteria I talked about things that affect your career. Soft skills is there. Right? And honesty is there. I know I want to say he sells small things, but people know him as very honest. That tó bá wá sọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀ tó bá sọ pé àfọ̀hún fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan báyìí bá mi ṣe ó máa ní mò ráyè sí o
màá dúró ó lè lọ sọ́dọ̀ ẹlòmíì o bó mọ̀ pé ẹni yẹn ó wà trusted and he is honest and he is standing ní pé àníṣe you are the one that is going to help me tó bá dé ṣọ́ọ̀bù ẹni àfọ̀nkọ́ àfọ̀sílẹ̀ ìgbà ọlọ́mọdé mú wọn nígbà yìí kí ló fẹ́ ṣe tí àfọ̀ bá ti dé màá padà wá. Do you know what that means? It is the level of communication, right? We used to talk about Igbo and businesses, right? That is what they have. It might not. They have this customer service that is a soft skill. Tobacco de shop, Omago joke, no. And hey, go and buy Monta Guinness there. Oma for a month. Are you hungry? You won't chop. Oma belo unjewa. Wa jeun. Tobacco. Only for any drinks. Only for any oúnjẹ. Ó wá lè pe price fún ẹ. Ó máa bẹ sọ̀rọ̀, ó máa bẹ rẹ́rìn-ín, ó máa bẹ everything. Wọ́n pe price fún ẹ. Ó gan ojú ma ti ń gbé. Tí wọ́n ní mo ra ọjà yìí lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀kọ́. Ṣebí wàá rà. Right? Ṣé o ní ra ni? You are going to buy it. You are going to buy it. But some of us, ṣé kò gba 2 naira? Mo lọ jí lọ́jà ni. Tó bá kó ṣí ẹ̀ kó mi báyìí. Ṣebí? Right? So, soft skills is very important. You know how to talk to people, and it really helps your career, right? Do not underrate people. Can you for the dick of your career? What am I for? So don't underrate people, and your soft skills is very important. So I'm going to leave the rest of the questions. So, yeah.
All right. How many countries are in Africa? How many countries are in Africa? Okay, yeah, it's 54. And I learned about it maybe 2 or 3 days ago. Do you know where I learned about it? Instagram. There are pages on Instagram that you can follow today that will tell you about how to automate in Excel, about different things in different careers or in different fields. So all of the social media platforms that we have today, the opportunities that are there, whether you would tap from it or not, is highly dependent on you. So when I'm scrolling on Instagram and I see any page that is going to be beneficial to me, I follow. I follow English speakers on Instagram. I follow Excel tutors. I follow so many tutors on Instagram. So when I go on Instagram and I'm scrolling through my reels, I see things that are relevant. Not just, of course, I follow so many Real Madrid pages. Once I scroll 1 or 2 like this, I'll see highlights and I'll watch it. But trust me, I also follow pages that are very beneficial. Like you said, some people regard YouTube as the best university in this life. When I was in the university, YouTube was always it for me. Even I'll go to classes, but when I start reading or before I start reading, I will ensure that I go through YouTube first, understand, then I'll go to the textbook to read because YouTubers explain even better than your lecturers in class. So please, social media platform can also be used, can also be tapped into to stay relevant in whatever industry that you are. I forgot something earlier. Join communities. One of the greatest communities that you can join is MSSN. And we are here already, right? If you are not at this camp, would you have learned about most of the things that you learned today? No, that is the importance of joining communities. But don't let it be only MSSN. Because most times when you go to MSSN Usura, what do we talk about? Yeah, which is like the fundamental, right? That's the fundamental. But that's not the only thing we do. This is MSSN camp. Are we talking about, have we quoted any hadith? No. Even if we quote hadith, it is going to be in line with what we are saying now. Now. So please join communities. Join communities. I recommend one. Nasir Giwa Mentorship. Just go to Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and search for this mentorship platform and just ask how to join the mentorship platform. What does it do for you? They organize sessions like this where you join. They do book review sessions. You read books. You expand your knowledge about different areas, right? So when you join communities, you meet with people. And these people will tell you things about their industries, and you learn, you keep on learning. You keep on learning, you keep on learning. I'm sure that people that you have met in this place have motivated you to read further. How many of us have met people in this camp and you are motivated to do better outside the camp? That is one of the things this camp, that's one of the things it does for me. When I come to camp, I will always see one person. I'm not saying it is just one person, at least one person that when I interact with the person, I know that, Hassan, you are not doing well at all. There are still a lot of things to learn. That is what the community does for you, or communities do for you. So please, join